So it's very simple, right? You have two kinds of people. You have one kind of people who keep quiet, and then you have one kind of people who go and protest the crap out of the thing, right? The problem is that those who are keeping quiet and those who are protesting are targeting what? The government, right? Now, what is the government doing? Absolutely nothing in terms of your protest and in terms of your silence. That is basically the issue right now. Like, you can do anything you want to protest or voice up or anything, but the government I'm not here to say I support the government. I'm not here to say I don't support the government. But I'm here to really say that the government don't care what you say. Though they don't care about it because they're not going
I
to
will, I
respond to
will,
your thing. They're not going to respond to your protest. They're not going to respond to your issues because they haven't. Like if you look at U.S., if you look at any other parliament, right, of any other country, you can see the rapid fire of questions that they have to take live, and in India you don't really see that practice at all. You don't see them being confronted, and then how do they answer those questions when they are being targeted? I don't know if you know this. Like, have you seen
I
Tejasvi Surya's video recently? Like, it happened like
Oh,
a week and a half back with this whole bet scam accusations, and then he got confronted by by those journalists,
that
which
was
was commendable.
amazing.
And did
That
you
was
see?
amazing.
again,
Did you
again, I
see
think
how he spoke? Right, and I don't care about the guy or anything. I don't want to like bash him or anything, but I just want to highlight like the people in power. Like you can kind of see the lack of education, like in terms of communicating, at the least, communicating the issues to us to make us understand whether we need to protest or we don't need to protest. And it's all happening in the middle of a pandemic. All of us have lost our people. We've lost a lot of people. There's a lot of loss happening. We don't have the energy to actually go and try to overthrow or try to support a government right now. It's just so wishy washy at the moment right now. So it's,
I think just to add to what Advait said over there is a very clear demarcation of people in India. One is the people who voice out, and the other is the one that's just choose to keep quiet. And I think the problem in India is, I think the farmers protests are a great example, because I think 10 million odd farmers came out to protest for this. 10 million. That is fucking ridiculous. It's a huge number. But the problem is the population of the country. 10 million is less than 1%. I think 1% is 100 million, right, of the Indian population.
yep.
So it is 0.1% of the population of the country is out for a cause. And it quickly just kind of makes it irrelevant. And if you take the same scenario, if you go to, say, any of the European countries, which is much smaller in area and much smaller in terms of population, if 10 million people come out of like 100 million, that's 10% of the population. The government has to take action, because at that sort of a percentage of people protesting for the same thing, the government will lose out. Especially in democratic countries, the government will lose out. And I think that is the fundamental point at which India is failing, because yes, there are a lot of people protesting for a lot of things, but the numbers have to be magnanimous. Like, we need a protest at the level of, say, 300 million people to have a dent at 3%, 4% of the population is actually worrying about something. As long as that percentage is less than 1%, I really don't think the government is required to. Again, not saying that these causes are not important. These causes are fucking important. If the farmers are not treated well, we will die hungry no matter how happy we are. But when it's just 0.1% of the population is voicing out this concern, the government can use bureaucracy, legitimation, 10,000 lawyers, and just quickly wishy-washy the whole thing. I think that's the same thing that we mentioned with the South Bangalore situation. Yes, that guy was called out and stuff like that. But what number of the population cared? I think Bangalore population, I would say, is like what, 10, 15 million. If even 1 million people did that, it's less than 1%. And again, quickly we lose out in terms of the relevance of, or not relevance, the mass impact of a protest. And that's what I think India, we either need to gather our shit together, or keep quiet for now and then keep quiet later as well, because it things won't get better by itself. I think that is the one thing we learned from this from the past 2 years, I suppose.